Hey everybody, Max Ada with Juggernaut Training Systems. Welcome to our series, The Week in Review. This is for the week of November 5th, 2018. We've got going on here is a few lifters, a few of the girls on the team are training to get back into shape. They all competed in Vegas at AO3. And basically, we just had kind of a maintenance period of time there where there was just a little bit of training volume, a little time off. Everyone got some time to kind of rest and relax. And we've been starting a normal training block or trying to get into that normal training block for some of them. One of the girls, Alyssa Allen, you'll see in the video, she's been training for the American Open Finals, so she's actually taking some heavier reps in these videos. But something to take note of here is that a lot of these girls are kind of coming back. They are getting into shape, and we're working on technical weaknesses here. So hopefully you enjoy the video. Here it is. Here's Christy's lighter day in the week. This is a Tuesday for her. She's doing some power snatches. And one of the things that we work on with Christy a lot is the position she catches the bar. You can notice from the video that she kind of gets hyperextended in that receiving position. That's a byproduct of a couple technical errors. One, not getting her knees back enough off the ground and not staying over the bar long enough. Pretty common issues. The reason we have her do some powers is because it forces her to extend a little bit longer and pull through at the top. It does help, but again, this is something that she struggles with, so it's going to be one of those exercises that, although it's strong or light, or she's strong at it or it's light, she still struggles to get that position perfect, and they did improve as time went on. The other stuff she's doing here during the week, or during this day, is some power cleans, and I have her hold the bar the entire time, meaning that she does the clean without turning or without letting go of the bar between reps, or as close to that as she can, to reinforce the turnover and reinforce what her arms are doing in the lift. It's also a good way to limit the amount of weight you can use. If you have an athlete that is taking 2 or 3 breaths or a couple steps back from the bar, standing there for 30 seconds between reps, then this is a good method to really force them to stay in the movement, stay in the set, make it a little more intense, and build some work capacity, along with the technical aspect of forcing yourself to hold on to the bar the entire rep, the entire set. It does help Christy a lot. She's made her turnover in the clean a lot smoother, and that's been something we worked on a lot with her. You can see how they get a little bit better as time goes on. Still, it's definitely a point of performance for us to work at a lot, and it's not something that kind of comes easy to her. So these kind of days where they're just light and technical can seem kind of not relevant in the grand scheme of things, but they do actually play a big role, in the long-term development. This is later in the week. Christy was doing some heavier hang cleans as a complex, and this, again, the hang clean is a good variation for her because it forces her to focus on the turnover and rack in the clean. I think in general the place she was at in training here this week was pretty rough. She's tired. This has been a pretty long training block for her, going or leaving the AO3 and just kind of staying in this maintenance mode. She's dealing with them fine. They're not the easiest for her, but you can see that overall she's doing a good job fighting through them. One reason I like to hang clean for someone like her, as you can see here, if you compare that rep she just did with some of the other reps she's done, her turnover is a lot better. When you're forcing the lifter to accelerate the bar in a short period of time, they generally focus a little bit more, whether it's conscious or unconscious, on turning their hands over and receiving the bar in both the snatch or the clean. Obviously, tough day for Christy, but she fought through all these reps. These are pretty solid all around for her. It's a good working weight for her, about 100 kilos for one hang clean plus a clean and jerk. You could do any number of things in combination, 3 hang cleans and a jerk, or 2 hang cleans and 1 jerk. Alex LaChance here, she is coming back off a long layoff. So what we're doing to help her get into shape faster is to do some movements that are a little bit easier and reinforce that speed under the bar and just the tactile feel of the explosion. High block snatches, snatch and clean and jerk from above the knee. These are a good option for people coming back into shape because, one, it doesn't put as much pressure on your back and legs, and allows you to get a little more training volume in early on so you can get into shape a little quicker. It's a really good option for her. It's something that's a staple in all of her programs because it is not necessarily a weakness, but it's definitely not her strength off the blocks. And later in the week, we see her doing her series of clean and jerks, one clean, one jerk, and she decided to do some power jerks on this day. Really, just kind of her decision. Not a huge deal. She's a very good jerker, and it's okay for lifters to kind of change things and add some variety as long as it doesn't really take away. If she had been missing them or was trying something like a squat jerk, I probably would have kicked her off the team. Later on in that week, again, another thing we work on a lot with Alex is her leg strength. Here she is front squatting. Her strength in her legs is taking a little bit longer to come back. These are around 100 kilos, 103 kilos, I think, despite looking like 500 pounds on the bar with those big black bumpers. But she handled it well. Her legs are coming back. The big improvement for her is that she's not using knee wraps or real thick knee sleeves like she did before. Here's our lifter, Alyssa Allen. She's our 81 kilo lifter. She also is going to be training for a meet at the end of the year, probably AO final, depending on some scheduling. But what she's doing here, again, similar to Alex, a lot of block work. In her case, though, the block work is really a way for us to overload the top portion of the movement and to give her a chance to really focus on the explosion and the turnover. She did a great job on all these. Alyssa's got a really good jerk, and she also has that really wide, noticeably wide jerk grip, which has helped her a lot. It's something that she's comfortable with, not something we taught. So if you're curious about doing something like that, it's going to have to be, in my opinion, something that comes naturally to you. Later in the week, obviously, she's doing jerks off the block. Again, a staple in our programs, especially for lifters. Even if they are good at the jerk, we still do them because it's important to have that confidence. And also, the jerk is the most critical of the lift, so you don't want to leave it to chance. Alyssa's leg strength is not necessarily a huge weakness, but again, it gets worked. Front squats are done on a regular basis. Later in the week, she had some hang snatches. This is a lighter day, and it's done as a complex. The reason we do one from above the knee, one below, is that when you practice from above the knee, you're going to get really good at the turnover portion, the explosion. When you transition down below the knee, though, you're going to need to work on the actual transition of pushing your knees out of the way in the snatch, and it's a good option to combine those two. You can work the top a little bit and at the same time not neglect the transition. You can see her snatch pulls there. Those are done the way we want them done. She does a pull, rise up on her toes, brings her shoulders up high, elbows up high above the bar. Another good example of a staple strength exercise for our lifters is like a drop snatch, or some people call a snatch balance or a heaving snatch balance. Main purpose of that is just using a dynamic movement to get into an overhead squat. Alyssa's clean and jerks into the week. She worked up to a really solid lift here. The one technical error, you can see her low back kind of cave, her chest kind of come down at the bottom of this dip, but overall really solid performance for her. Getting into some heavy lifts as she gets closer to the AO finals. And then finally, Janice Okamoto. What we're working on with Janice, very similar issue to Christy in that she extends her back kind of excessively in the snatch, especially on the catch and the pull. That's something we try to work on a lot with her. Her overhead position is affected. You can see it in the jerk as well. She has a hard time kind of getting that shoulder rotated into the right spot. These are some light lifts on a kind of a Tuesday technical work that's being done. Again, you see the same exercises: jerk from the rack, the drop snatch or snatch balance being done. These things are stuff to work on the position. In addition to that stuff, because she's coming off of a little bit of a layoff from her last meet, we're working on a little bit more remedial stuff too. Here's some
She's doing kickbacks, but normally like tricep extensions or rows, those kind of exercises, bodybuilding stuff is always included in training for everybody. You don't see them post that kind of stuff, I think, on Instagram and the like, just because it's not flashy or fun. It's not really exciting. Obviously, kickbacks are not the most amazing thing to watch, but this is the kind of stuff that needs to happen on a regular basis in order to develop complete a complete athlete, a complete weightlifter. So good example of this. Everyone does this kind of stuff, and it's critical to have that GPP.
Thanks for watching. I hope you guys liked the video. Go ahead and follow along with this series as we ramp up. A lot of these girls are going to start training for more serious meets, so you get a chance to see what we're doing technique-wise and programming-wise. You'll also start to see a little bit more of the explanation behind the programming and what we're trying to accomplish with each person. Not just maintenance periods or not just competition prep, but how the whole picture kind of fits together. If you're interested in online coaching, go ahead and check out jtsstrength.com. And if you like this video, please share it with a friend and subscribe. Thank you.